Welcome to Creators Blueprint.
Welcome to the Creators Blueprint, where we talk about unnecessary stuff in design. I'm here joined by Oscar. How are you today?
I'm good. How
Eh,
are you, man?
I'm doing great. I'm Dennis, by the way. Um, how's your day?
Day, my whole day was good. Uh, has been well. Been doing a lot of color stories at work. How about you? What was your day like?
Well, I actually went to the city for a meeting. It was a very high end meeting, so I can't say the company, but it went very well. We showed a bunch of patterns and
Wait, you went? Oh, you went to a high end meeting? A
well
meeting
the
with a customer from the high end category of
something like that. It's a customer that
a brand.
a brand that's
Okay.
very high end, and my company is licensed with them.
Mm.
So we went to get their opinions and stuff on some collections we're doing with them. And I also went trend shopping, which was pretty cool.
And that was it was your first time?
Well, it's not my first time, but it is it was yeah, no, it wasn't my first time, but it was the first time I went to like an actual fabric store, and we picked out swatches and all that to look at. Actually, I picked out swatches for like I don't know myself because I got too excited, and
Mhm.
I saw like a bunch of patterns that would go nice on button down shirts that I want. So eventually, when I become the biggest fashion designer in the world, I could just apply those prints on a button down.
Mhm. And
But yeah, like when I walk in, I feel like so like excited and like inspired with all the materials around me.
mhm.
Like so much you could do, so many options to pick from. You know?
Trend shopping for you, at least when you were doing what you were doing, was that mostly like going to different fabric stores,
Oh
or
well,
like is that what you guys consider trend shopping?
well, trend shopping. We usually just go to different stores and we just see what's out there in the market, and then we take pictures of details and yeah, our competitors, and we can see what we can make better and
And then on top,
improve to our own
and then
stuff.
and then on top of that, you guys went to fabric stores. Then that was your
Uh,
secondary.
well, today was all about textures. And we went to like a little convention. I'm not gonna say the convention, but there was a convention of textures in the city, and we walked in and it was like a really small room with like not many vendors. I expected like a Javid Center type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we went there, and then it wasn't very impressive. So we just went out trend shopping for a little bit,
Also, that
and
happened because of result,
yeah,
off a result.
and then the bosses took us to fabric stores, and that was the first time. Well, it wasn't my first time going to a fabric store, but it was the first time going to a fabric store that large. It was Mood Fabrics in New York. I enjoyed it a lot and opened my eyes to what a little peek at the fashion design world. And I would like to, hopefully, if we ever do merchandising or do anything in that caliber, we could just go to the city and do trend shopping.
Mm,
But we have to get paid first. We want to make our millions first,
nah, yeah, I
and then
guess.
we want to pay off student loans, your student loans as well. But yeah, I just it was very inspiring going over there. Yeah,
Actually, I went to Mood Fabric senior year with
where was the invite?
well, because I have a classmate. His name was Miguel, and he was doing footwear project at the time, and we needed fabrics, and so I think he knew about this store, and so we went together to New York, and we went to this place called Mood Fabrics. They're like stationed in an area. It's like a it looks like an office building, right, from the outside,
Hmm.
but then when you get inside, it's like all inside. It's all carpet and then full of just aisles on aisles of like fabrics just like bulging out of each row and stuff, and you could just the whole point over there is to just get whatever material you want and then take it to the front, and then they'll cut how much yards you want. So when I did go there, I bought some. I think it was like fake leather, and we bought. I bought I think 3 yards and it costed like 20 something dollars. Yeah, I didn't know the price at the time, but it's pretty expensive. Like that stuff is expensive, especially when you go into buying like the furs and stuff.
Yes.
I don't know if you looked at any of that stuff.
We actually went into another store. I don't know the name of the place, but as soon as you turned the corner and you saw the fabrics, it was like $250 a yard, 360, 650. It was super expensive just for like a certain pattern, something that I will not waste. But apparently, like those high end brands still.
Yeah.
And I don't know much about like the engineering behind the yarns, but I want to know why that certain uh pattern or texture costs 250 rather than $60 a yard. You know?
Yeah, I get what you mean. I guess it's like, according to how. I don't know actually. That's a good question. We'd have to look into it and see. Definitely because of the quality. First of all,
Yeah, the quality is a
some are
factor.
really like shittier quality, and so like obviously it's gonna be priced cheaper. And so when you go on the high end of things, like the leathers are actually real leathers, and like the canvases are actually like made out of like I don't know, better cotton or something.
Hmm.
But like you could obviously tell the difference in them. It's not just a flimsy like no, it has like
And there's
no,
also the backing.
yeah, the backing, it has no backing on it, and that also has something to do with the price. But yeah, that's awesome because I haven't done trend shopping or that type of thing since senior year. So
Yeah, it would have been nice if you told me senior year to go, but it's too late now.
it wasn't relatable to you. You didn't need to go.
Yeah, but it's fun.
Damn, that's crazy. Anyways, yo, you heard about Zion Williamson?
Who's Zion Williamson?
Zion
I know
Williamson.
he's a basketball player,
Yeah, he's a basketball
but
player.
I have no idea who he is or what type of skills he endures.
Anyway, Zion Williamson is he just graduated from Duke University, #1 overall pick, selected by the New Orleans Pelicans.
Wait, that's the man that when I came over to watch the draft, he was crying.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And we cried a little bit.
Yeah.
Yo, that was emotional. That draft, the first 3 picks. Damn. Anyways, well, yeah, he's going to New Orleans now, and before he gets there and like signs his contract there, I'm not sure if that amount of how much he's gonna get paid is disclosed yet. Um, but I don't know if you heard, but most recently he got signed. He signed the shoe deal, and he signed to guess what? Guess which brand? Do you know?
Adidas?
Do you know?
No.
Ah,
Let me guess. Let me guess.
okay, guess then.
Adidas,
Nope,
Nike.
kind of. It's in the house of Nike. Just keep guessing.
I want to say Jordan, but
Jordan.
Jordan.
So he's gonna be a signed athlete under the Jordan brand.
Really?
Yep.
That's weird. A signed athlete signing a signed athlete.
Yeah. It's like Nike. Just look at Jordan as Nike.
Yeah.
Like that.
I get it, but it's just
Jordan already has a lot of athletes underneath their name.
Well, I'm slow. Anywho,
You wouldn't know it unless you followed it. But yeah, so he signed a $75 million deal for 5 years, over 5 year span. And that money is guaranteed no matter if he gets injured or plays even better than expected. Maybe he'll get more money after that, but it's basically the richest. Like he's getting the richest rookie shoe deal in the history of the NBA, and apparently this $75 million deal is like not even the highest deal he was offered. He was offered over $100 million from a company in China. I'm not sure what it's called, but he got offered more money from other competitors. But he decided to stick with Jordan, and I'm guessing that's because Michael Jordan and who he is, and so he wanted to do that. What
75 million. That's a lot of guap for a shoe deal or a sponsorship deal or whatever it is.
and that's 75 million before even doing a contract with the NBA, like with his team.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
man.
pretty impressive. How old is he?
19.
19.
It's something light, nothing too. Like, you don't want to give him too much money to get like crazy with. 75 is just the right amount.
That is wild.
Comes out to 15 million a year. He's probably gonna be
Something light.
He's probably gonna make. He's probably going to be making, yeah, over 20 million, a year, and that's like without even other endorsements and ads that he can do.
Probably
So
stick vitamin water into that,
he is set. Let's just say.
except for life.
Yeah. But yeah, he's supposed to be the next LeBron James. Yeah. One thing I was thinking about, like, now he's signed. Do you think the design team, like when they I guess when they like made like a little presentation for him, they already had concepts of what like his shoe would look like?
They probably recycle concepts.
Probably recycle. That's true. That's true. Because I don't know if you know, but when he was playing in the NCAA March Madness tournament with his Duke team, he had a game. I don't know if you heard, but it was in the first 2 minutes of the game. Actually, I don't think it was the NCAA March Madness. I think it was just a game against University of North Carolina. Long story short, he he's in the first 2 minutes of the game, he like blew out the shoe. You never heard of that?
I did hear about it.
He did a quick turn
But
and his foot went right through the whole shoe.
I did hear about it, but I didn't know it was Zion.
Yeah, it was him.
Wow. What shoe was it?
What do you mean?
What shoe was it?
It was the Kyrie Irving shoe. So like the Kyrie Irving like is not made to for a player like Zion. Um, Kyrie Irving is probably like 190 or to 210 pounds. I wouldn't even say 210, but I'll say like high 190s, right? Zion weighs 280.
Wow.
So like right now apparently. So that shoe was not made for him like to withstand like his type of weight.
With the weight.
So that could be a problem, but many people thought that because of that he maybe wouldn't have signed with Nike.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess the bond is very strong that no matter what, he's still sticking with them. But like what you were saying before, so yeah, I'm sure like his design team probably has a bunch of maybe throwaway concepts that they had pitched for like Paul George. They have so many athletes on their roster. Kyrie Irving, Russell Westbrook, the list goes on. So, but I never thought of that. That's true. But I'm sure like right now he's gonna be the biggest athlete on the Jordan brand, and he's only 19 years old.
I would have never thought that weight was a huge factor in playing in shoes, in making the shoes. Like for the Kyrie shoe, it was made for Kyrie.
Yeah,
And I would have never thought that, like, since they made it for a person on that build, if Zion wants to wear it, it could blow out the shoe. I would have never thought. I would have never put that factor into like designing a shoe. The how a shoe would withhold the body weight of a person when playing a sport.
yeah, that all comes into play. So like when his shoes are designed, they're gonna be like super secure, so that like when he does any cuts, I guess wherever his weight is distributed, like his his shoe can like handle that and like not cause the shoe to tear or anything like that. And so that's where like all this research and all that stuff comes into play to make sure that every single shoe is built around that athlete.
Hmm.
Yeah, and that's more for like performance people, like.
Like I did get the performance part, but I didn't. I never thought that it was specifically for that one player.
Yeah.
Hmm. Learn something
So
new
so
every day.
so if you're like Kyrie Irving around his weight, like most people are not 290 like and cutting super hard in basketball. Zion is one of a kind. But like the average person would wear those Kyries and it would be fine. It wouldn't be any issue.
And how would they and that all comes down to like the materials when putting together that shoe.
It comes down to how you structure the shoe. and so that on the sides of the shoe, there's probably gonna be added material to be like more
It's gonna
firm
be like tapered
to
out.
hold it down. Yeah, to hold down the like the top of the shoe to the bottom of the shoe, or maybe like the bottom of the shoe wraps on top onto the top of the upper,
Mm.
stuff like that. That's like all can be changed to factor whoever you're designing for.
Hmm.
But yeah,
It's pretty interesting. So like, let's say the recycled concepts, it would be best to like
get influenced.
get
Get influence from those
influence
concepts, but then tailor them around what Zion
to
would need.
cater that
Yeah, to
player.
cater him. Yeah.
Cool.
Whoops.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's a
talking about
nice wealthy pause. What should we talk about now?
no, I want to talk about what do you consider a rendering nowadays? Like now that we're like working in, I guess you would say the industry,
Hmm.
and the word rendering in college compared to in the work environment, or like the yeah.
What I call rendering is a nice tightened up colored sketch or CAD of a product or of a product that you've been working on. Something to show to a client or something to show in a presentation when you're in school.
Mm. And now and back in school, what tools would you use to execute this rendering?
Well, in the early days, since our professor was conservative
Oh yeah,
on you know designing, it was markers, mostly markers.
Prisma, right? Oh,
Copic,
Copic. Yeah, yeah.
Copic.
The more expensive ones.
Yeah, because I was high maintenance. Um, yeah, it's super expensive. Copic markers, like what was it?
$4 each?
No, it was like $8 each. Not
I'm
eight
off it.
dollars a marker.
Was
And
it?
me being a little freshman, I bought like the whole
Set.
$20 grayscale set for I don't know like $40, $50. And I bought the grayscale set and the color set.
Mm.
So I had a whatchamacallit, a $40 set, and then I wasted like $80 on markers.
Yo, it's so insane that back then, let's say 2013 is when we got into college, like renderings were marker renderings.
Right? Or maybe we were just too like new. We're novices to the design world where we didn't actually know about what's actually out there.
Because at the time, renderings, I mean, at least for our school, renderings were, if it wasn't marker renderings, it was SolidWorks rendering, right?
Well, for us, yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And it wasn't until junior year where we got exposed to Sketchbook Pro, Photoshop, and all this stuff.
Well,
Illustrator we did sophomore year.
we did know about Photoshop
And that, but
freshman.
yeah, but that's where we added like a few little color, like hints of like highlights, right? But it wasn't like what we see now as a rendering, you know?
Bro. Yeah, they should teach well, later on. So first it started out markers, and then during junior year, I was so jealous that I feel like I told the story before. But I was so jealous that you and all the other class had
Wacom.
Wacom's. I was like, I felt left out. So I eventually got a Wacom, and that's where I ventured off into digital sketching.
And that's when Wacom's became not cool and everyone switched to iPads.
You
No,
think
I'm just
so?
kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you.
That.
But no, for real, for me at least, renderings are like a digital rendering, something that's done on. Let's say maybe you do it on Illustrator and then pull it into Sketchbook and put highlights on it, or you do it just straight off, like something that, like you said before, like for presentations, something that you could post as a finished concept or like a cover of a page. Yeah.
I also consider keyshot renderings.
Yeah,
renderings.
yeah, that's true.
It's
I
cool.
miss Keyshot.
It's keyshot too.
Keyshot was fun.
It's been a while since I didn't touch any Rhino. I really miss it.
What's your proudest rendering? Do you have a proud no matter what media, what like tool you use, like
I'd say my proudest renderings is keyshot renderings. I feel like in my old job I really mastered keyshot. Well, I didn't master it, but I did get comfortable with like playing around with the lighting, creating your own environment, and seeing what comes out best for it.
so you don't have a specific rendering
I don't know.
where you look at it and you're just like, damn.
Ah, God. There are renderings that I've did on Keyshot that are out in, I would say in like a website. I don't want to say the website, but like I did do some bottles that had like lotion inside, and I had to in Rhino I did like an offset. So I shelled the bottle and then did an offset for like the lotion, and that was a solid, and it kind of, and then I put a label on top in Keyshot, so it kind of looks like the bottle with the lotion, and I think I executed it very well
To make it look realistic.
to make it look realistic. It's not my proudest, but at that point I was like, damn, you're getting good at Keyshot and manipulating shapes and shit.
So your best renderings, you say, come from your Keyshot renderings.
Yes. If I had a Rhino, I would be creating so many like renderings and just playing with Keyshot. But I don't have Rhino, and I don't have a nice computer. So, and I'll put them on. I would have put them on Instagram, but I don't know. I'll buy a laptop soon, and then I'll post them on IG eventually. But how about you?
I mean, for me, my best stuff that I do comes from, I think, like doing it fully either on Sketchbook Pro and like sketching it there, and then putting the materials on there, and then rendering on top, everything on top, just on Sketchbook Pro. Everything for me, I feel, has come out the best. I also like to use Illustrator, and then after that I bring it into Sketchbook, and then I warp it, make it look like it's like I'm talking about shoes. I make it look like it's like moving in motion and stuff like that. So I would say my best stuff would be with a focus on Illustrator and Sketchbook Pro.
But what do you think about hand renderings, like marker renderings?
It's, I don't know. I honestly, a good, if you're using like a good pen, like the one I was using in like in school,
From China.
Yeah, from Japan.
From Japan.
Or was it Korea? Oh, I think it's Japan. Yeah, Japan.
Japan.
Sorry. Yeah, if you have one where it's like it very nice with the line weight and everything, and then you have a lot of nice details, good highlights where it's needed, then sometimes that rendering, it could look good, but I think it will never surpass what a digital rendering would look like. Like, like you can't, maybe not. I was gonna say no matter how good you sketch it and render it, it won't be as good as like a digital rendering. Like, let's say if you're trying to promote like an ad, you're not gonna sketch something. You rather like SolidWorks it and then put like the Keyshot stuff on it. You rather that than a sketch of the rendering, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I'm looking at it.
Well, then again, it comes down to is the rendering, like other than like presentations and having it for like the final, like shot or anything. I feel like rendering through marker is more impressive than doing it through Sketchbook.
I feel like it's impressive, but like the marker, after a while, the color starts to fade, and so like it doesn't look as well as you think it should look after a while. You know what I mean?
But it
At the
also
time,
it also like shows the skill set that the designer that did with marker, and you can't even like do undo buttons or nothing with the marker. So imagine, yeah, that shows off the skill that the designer has, but now give that designer that did it with marker the Sketchbook Pro and the Wacom.
Mm.
They'll just be nasty with it.
But wait, you were saying that it's a one shot?
Yeah, like doing it with markers, just one shot. Like you
Well,
can't go back with it.
well, the trick with that is to get your sketch and just scan it in and then make
Well,
50 copies of it.
well, like you'll have like 50 copies, but like if you mess up one
Oh
marker
yeah, yeah, of
rendering, you have to
course.
start over. That's what
Mm,
I'm saying. So
that's true.
if you give the designer that does good marker renderings Wacom, they're just gonna
Be really
it's gonna it's not gonna be more impressive, but they're gonna be able to do much better renderings with it.
mm,
You know?
true.
But yeah, I feel like I don't know. Marker is much more impressive than digital sketching, but you could do a more realistic rendering of a product through Sketchbook.
Yes, but the best would be a CAD, a
Yeah.
SolidWorks CAD, and then keyshotting.
Yeah.
Talking about CAD, what do you consider a CAD? Like again, talking back to what was in what that word meant in college compared to what it means now out here in the industry.
I could tell you what CAD meant when I was in elementary school, bro.
You knew it back then?
Yeah. When my dad had a 3D CAD file, and I just I don't know, I just did boxes in there. But when I got into high school, I took this it was like more of architecture design class, like everything mashed into one,
Hmm.
and that's where I realized. I mean, that's where I found out what CAD was, and the school had this what's it called? I don't know. I forgot. I think AutoCAD. No, it wasn't AutoCAD. It was something. And it was like similar to SolidWorks. That works in layers, and you only work on surfaces, and you extrude and
SketchUp? No.
I don't remember.
Oh.
But from there, that's where I realized what CAD was, and I grew up thinking that CAD is just like 3D CAD.
Hmm.
And recently, when I got into the workplace, 3D CAD. I mean, CAD isn't 3D CAD. CAD is Illustrator files, and it's very confusing to me. It's Illustrator renderings. It's what I would call renderings. So they're mixing up CAD and renderings. You know?
Yeah, but that no, by your last job, like where you worked before
Oh,
CAD's,
when in my last job
depending, because like right now you're working
in soft goods
in soft goods, so a CAD is more of an Illustrator
rendering
rendering, right? But before you were working,
at a consultancy, and in the consultancy, CAD was a 3D file. Also in school, CAD was a 3D file, and we just called
true.
Illustrator renderings, and we didn't call them CAD.
Yeah.
Now it's like I don't know. It's like one of those like pet peeves of mine when
Mm.
people call Illustrator files CADs. I'm like, it's not CAD. I know CAD is computer aided design, but like, I feel like CAD is like Rhino, SolidWorks, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I mean for me in footwear, yeah, CAD. When they say like, "Hey, can you do a CAD of this shoe?" or "CAD, can you CAD of this?" That means yeah, bring your sketch into Illustrator, trace it, and then render it, and that's the CAD.
Yeah.
They don't even say rendering. They just said, "Oh, you have the CAD, and the CAD should be already rendered," kind of. But yeah, back in high school, I keep saying high school. Back in college, CAD meant like a SolidWorks file or a Rhino file or something made out of 3D. That's
Hmm.
what a CAD was. So yeah, it's crazy how that word just changes. Like once you're in a different environment, like it has a complete different meaning and stuff.
So when I was in when I first started this soft goods place, I was like in meetings, and they would say like they were like I would listen, and they would say like you need to cat up this, cat up that, and I was
Fuck, I got a
like
3D
at
everything.
3D soft goods, like that's what am I supposed to do? Like 3D soft goods is not a good combination. I don't know how I would be able to do that.
Uh-huh.
So I was already like overthinking. I was like, damn, what if I put it into like Keyshot? Put the which material should I use on what? Then it comes to find out that CAD is Illustrator renderings. I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
it's something very different, but it's a pet peeve of mine.
I think that's only it goes for soft goods, and in hard goods like in industry like ID stuff type of stuff. I'm sure CAD means 3D still, but in the soft goods part of things, like you're not gonna be CADing up literally 3Ding all your soft goods stuff.
You're gonna be
You're
rendering,
gonna be Illustrator rendering them because it's
illustrating.
just too much work.
Yeah.
And I guess there's so much the
How come they
quantity of
can't?
stuff.
How come they can't just call it like? Could you just render or illustrate instead of CADing? CADing is not Illustrator.
Someone must have messed up when they said it one day, and it
It just.
stuck.
Well, it's just one pet peeve of mine, but I don't know. I'm gonna live. I'm gonna live.
I mean, for me, I've been used to it already 2 years, so CAD for me literally means Illustrator.
No, it
Anyways,
doesn't. You're lying to yourself.
I'm in a
It
different
does
reality.
not mean Illustrator.
I'm in a different reality.
No, you're not. We're in the same reality. I'm just close-minded about it, but yeah, I have to get used to it. I mean, I got used to it, but every time I hear CAD, like it's in the back of my mind. Rhino.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Talking about Rhino.
So wait. So if in the in the soft goods world, if CAD is Illustrator, what would they call CAD? CAD. Yeah, well, what's CAD? I mean 3D
Oh,
CAD.
what would they say? 3D model. They'll say you can make a 3D model of so and so.
Oh my fucking god.
Yep. Talking about 3D models, we have a new segment that I don't know what we're gonna call it, but
Gonna be talking.
basically Dennis has an update on tariffs. Any updates?
We talked about tariffs for 2 weeks in a row, and he's making fun of me.
Anything new?
Nope, it's still on 45%. Every $10 that comes in, you pay
Okay.
for $4.50. And on to the next topic.
Our subtopic is after tariffs. We're gonna talk about.
We could talk about the Chinese monitoring.
And what is that? The surveillance? That you
Yeah,
said?
yeah, the surveillance thing that I mentioned to you earlier, where I feel like I should have told you in the podcast. Now I feel like we're not talking about it. Anywho, it's
go.
it's where apparently in China they said they had to have so many cameras set up monitoring civilians and their actions, and let's say a person has an account, right?
Mhm.
And the cameras follow your every move, and it shows if you, like, let's say you litter or you just jaywalk or you do like certain stuff that you're not supposed to do. Points from your account get deducted, and those points from your account determine if you could travel, if you could get a passport, if you could get on the fastest train and all that. So if the better the civilian you are, the more privileged you are on doing certain stuff.
So you mean to tell me they're living in a GTA game?
No, where'd you get that from?
No, because like in a way they're like leveling up. For anything they do, they get like let's just say they're working in levels. Their life. For every bad thing they do, they go down in rank.
Well, you don't level up, you level down.
You can only level down.
You can only level down.
That's what I'm trying to say. They're living in a place where they're literally in a video game. They're like on a ranking system where.
But GTA is in the ranking system.
Bro, it was like I'm just trying to say they're in a video game. In a way,
I would accept it more if you said they're like in a Black Mirror episode.
they're in a video game because look, so anything they do is gonna deduct their level in a sense, and so like you said, they can't get on the faster train. You said they can't even travel as much or something, right?
Yeah.
So that's insane. They're in a video game.
They're in a
case
Black
closed.
Mirror episode. But yeah, they can't. It's kind of strange. Like, what if that actually like takes over the world and we're just?
We're all already on camera right now.
I mean, we are on camera, but
It's just not disclosed out that that's happening. Was this leaked or was this like literally told
it's
to
literally
everyone?
told.
They told everyone that. Oh
Yeah,
man.
I'm gonna do more research and gonna talk about it more
So we'll
in the
have
next.
so we'll have another segment, the weekly with Chinese surveillances.
But yeah, that's wild. I don't think it's gonna happen. Well, Big Brother's everywhere, and it stares at everybody doing everything.
Big Brother.
That's what they call it,
Wow,
Big Brother.
that's what
Like,
the system is called.
no, I mean, Big Brother isn't. It's not the Chinese surveilling system.
Is it?
It's a term saying that the government is watching everybody
Gotcha.
at all times.
I'm sure they
So,
are.
I know we're being watched everywhere and heard through everything,
Through the mics.
even through the mics, even through your iPhones, believe it or not. But
Yeah.
I feel it's not gonna get to that point where people level down if you're just littering.
I mean, yo, what if like next week comes out like, hey, like we were doing exactly what China was doing, and here's your rank. What would your rank be?
I
Like
would.
if let's say we started at 100, right?
Hmm.
For every bad thing you do, it's like half a point or something, or
It's
even
a
like
point.
a quarter. A point?
Yeah.
Okay, let's say a point. And let's say they only rate back to the last 5 years. Where would you be at? you probably be killed already. No, I'm playing.
Wow.
No, but I
Okay, I'm
meant
not that much of a bad guy.
not killed already. I'm just kidding. I'm just exaggerating. But what I'm trying to say is like
I know. I'm like a
you don't
perfect human being.
you drive the speed limit at all times. You put your seatbelt on.
No, everybody goes over 15 all the time.
Okay, you're deducted a point then.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, like all those things come into fact. Like where you like do something illegal. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You leave the party. You're feeling kind of sauced.
If you like had like
And
2
you
beers.
have a little accident outside, -2 points.
Oh, okay, yeah, -2 points. Um,
Uh, Throwing a Snicker strap on the floor, -1 point.
-1 point. Buying theater tickets as a child when you're an adult.
Going to Six Flags and like that your little cousin is a kid, but he's
34.
34 years old. I had one putting the recycling in the garbage and the garbage in the recycling.
Oh, yeah, I'm done. I'm definitely down to do that.
Yeah, I if it gets to that point where it's like just nitpicking stuff, like you farting outside and shit like that.
Shit. How could I even tell? That's insane.
No, I think I would be doing great. I think I would be on the 95 out of 100. How about you?
That'd be insane. Me, I'd be fine.
Think?
Yeah. I don't litter.
But you don't recycle.
I don't recycle. So either way, I don't know. I think that's insane though. That level system type thing. Like who has the time to be ranking, to be deducting points and checking everyone? Like how does that work? It seems so much more complicated. Like
Yeah, it seems very complicated, especially when there's like a billion people living in your country.
yeah.
That is
I don't
not.
even know what everyone like. Do they have like a tag on them or like?
No, it's all facial recognition. That's the crazy part.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's facial recognition. They just scan faces and like if you're doing some shit, they just I don't know rank you on what type of citizen you are. That's wild, man. But I don't think it's gonna happen here in the U.S. because
It's already happening. Nah. Yeah. Nah.
because they had remember what the time where they had cameras out in the streets and you would get a ticket if you crossed a red light and they just snapped a photo of your car.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah. I know. It
So
doesn't even work, bro.
yeah, it's just dumb camera. I think the cameras are just cameras at this point.
Like there wasn't. I had a family member that was in an accident, and the accident happened at a light where it had the camera, and that person did a hit and run. And when the cops came, my family member was like, "Hey, uh, where can I mean, can they get access to the camera? Because then you can clearly see who hit his car." And they were like, "Oh, those cameras, they don't work." So it's like, yeah,
They're lying. They
bad.
definitely do work.
They
They just
do.
don't want to put the work in and get that video from that time.
Well, I'm just trying to, yeah, like, yeah.
I mean, like
They're
those
not
kids.
flashing for red light, like people that pass in red lights, but they're also not working
For
and
civilians.
for civilians. So like, what's the point of even having them? And like, all that money, like, don't people pay for that?
We pay for that.
Yeah, like,
So much money spent on everything we do,
messed up.
and the taxes are high, just like the tariffs.
And on that note, we're gonna
You,
wrap it up.
oh, you want to be off it?
Yeah.
All right. It was a great podcast.
More energy.
It was a great podcast. I hope to see you soon. Remember, follow us on IG, Creators Blueprint. Tag us, hashtag Creators Blueprint. Tell us what you guys want to talk about. We're gonna try to see if we could have somebody soon, or if not, ask some questions through IG. We post every single other day on IG on like shouting out stuff and what we think it's interesting. Oh yeah, listen to us on Spotify and iTunes. Subscribe to YouTube. What else? Follow me on Design by Dennis, or if you want to get personal, FD Dennis H.
Giving our personal IGs.
For Oscar Lima .design.
I might be like changing that.
Why?
So that it's smaller,
To what?
I don't know. But
Okay.
I'm just saying. But yeah, that's about
Okay,
it.
Design.
Oka Design. I don't know. We'll think about it.
I'm
but
thinking
I'm gonna wrap it up.
okay.
Thank you for watching us.
Remember-
Episode 7.
I remember, take care, stay golden, know the drugs.
Stay frosty.